There's not many times where I'm going to tell you, I told you so, but I'm about to tell you, I told you so.
You check the mic, 1, 2, we clear, ready to transmit. Pro fan hoops on the court, we got the game lit. Not talking highlight reels just for the common glance. We talking dedicated skills, taking every chance. From logo threes to rebounds, Chicago got the me-bounds. Asia got 3 chips, Las Vegas aces in the town. You tune into the channel if you want to get the facts. Women's basketball is fire, no need to relax.
What's going on, folks? This is Coach Marcus. Pro Fan Hoops is in the building, and I am recapping a story, a video that I did last year. Now, y'all might remember this, but do y'all remember this? Keomi McMiller. This girl was a star at Rutgers. There was a move she did in the game that went viral. She went behind the back, did a 360 spin, crossed the girl over, and ended up scoring. But the other part of it was her teammates were sitting around with their hands on their hips because they knew they wasn't gonna get the ball. Long story short, clearly her and the coach wasn't seeing eye to eye, and the coach eventually sat her down. Now, what takes it to the next level was the Rutgers coach, sat her down the week they were supposed to play USC. So Keomi was about to go up against Juju Watkins. Juju Watkins was not hurt at the time. So that would have been a good one-on-one matchup. You got 2 of the best individual players in the country. USC was obviously a better team, but people wanted to see that one-on-one matchup. And now the coach sat her down for what I'm going to assume was a good reason. Whatever they falling out was, it had to get to a point where the coach had to make a decision. And the video was about what happens when the inmates are running the asylum. What happens? Because clearly she's the coach, this girl is the player, and you got to set the precedent or everybody on your team is going to run over you. That's the way it goes as a coach. You got to figure out a way to get through to these kids so that at least they will listen and they will understand that you got their best interest in mind, even when it doesn't seem like it. But now, because you got NIL and you can transfer when things ain't going your way, if they don't want to listen to you, they ain't got to listen to you because they always have an option. That option didn't exist before. It didn't exist when I used to play. So you had to deal with it. It taught you how to, you got to deal with the way things come. It's not always going to be fair. I say that all the time. You got to play the game, but the game ain't fair. And she put out a statement. That's how bad she was in her feelings. Let me see if I can find it. She put out a statement on her Instagram. I'll say here somewhere. There we go. She put out a statement apologizing to her fans. I would like to apologize to my fans. I will not be playing in today's game versus USC, which is the number 4 team in the country. The decision was made by my head coach, Coquese Washington. I think it's Coquese Washington. That's the name of the coach. Thank you for your continued support. And I knew right there she was gone. She was gone. And that's exactly what happened. Not too long after that, she said she was going to transfer. She ends up at Penn State. I'm still not sure why she chose Penn State because Penn State was just as bad as Rutgers was. So now we fast forward to now. We fast forward till today, and I see the news. Rutgers fires Coquese Washington after 11th straight loss. And I remember asking a question when I did that initial video. What is going to happen to the coach when she does the right thing to the team's detriment? Clearly, Keomi Miller was the best player on that team. Clearly. but she probably had an attitude problem. She probably had big man's disease. You big man on campus, big woman on campus, whatever. Coach can't tell you nothing because you ain't gonna get rid of me. Y'all ain't gonna win. That she probably, I'm guessing, I don't know the girl, but I'm gonna guess that she probably had that type of attitude. Especially if you're gonna put out a tweet or something on Instagram apologizing to your fans. But again, shortly thereafter, all of this went down. She transferred. And my question was, so what happens now? You done just got rid of the best player on your team, or I take that back. She didn't get rid of her, but the girl didn't like the treatment. So she walked. And what happens to the coach who did the right thing, who had to put down the discipline? Team ain't winning. And I posed this question. What happens if she comes back next year, they don't win any games, and they end up firing her? They will have fired her because she did the right thing. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly where we are now. The inmates are running the asylum. Rutgers fires Coquese Washington after 11 straight losses. Rutgers fired women's basketball coach Coquese Washington on Monday after the Scarlet Knights ended the season with 11 straight losses and failed to win 10 games for the second time in 3 years. They didn't even win 10 games. Washington was 42-84 overall and 11-61 in Big Ten play over 4 seasons. The Knights were 9-20 this season, and their 1-17 Big Ten record was the worst in program history in conference play. And this is after you got rid of arguably your best player. But here's the funny part. Look at this. This is the Big Ten standings. Rutgers is dead bottom. They 1-17 in conference play. They 9-20 for the season. They didn't even get 10 wins. However, you go up 2 spots and there's Penn State. That's where Keomi McMiller transferred to. They're 4-14 in the conference. 11-18 overall. So they're only 1 game above 10 wins. So they didn't do much better. And here's something even funnier. When Rutgers played at Penn State played at Rutgers, Penn State lost. Rutgers beat them 76-72. Keomi McMiller had 27 points, had a great game by all accounts, and they still lost. So what is that telling you? So all of that talent, if you ain't got a good team around you, one person does not make a team. It doesn't happen. She'd have been better off staying at Rutgers, but she didn't. She made her decision. This is the downside of everybody just jumping in the portal all willy-nilly, and I don't like what we doing here. They'll pay me money and I can get a chance to start. And well, guess what? You're going to get a chance to start and do what you want to do and put your thing down and all of that kind of stuff. But if you don't have a good team around you, you will always lose. Basketball is a team sport. You can't do it all. At some point in time, you're going to have to rely on somebody else getting some shots off, driving to the basket, hitting their free throws at some point in time. So I don't care how much talent you have. I always like to use Michael Jordan as the easiest example. Michael Jordan was the best thing to come out of North Carolina in a long time. And at that point, in 1984, we had never seen anything like it. Be like Mike and all of that. And then he got to the Bulls, and they got their ass whooped, and they got their ass whooped, and they got their ass whooped for 6 seasons before a gentleman named Scottie Pippen showed up. Then they started playing like a team. Phil Jackson showed up. Then he started coaching them like a team. Then it changed because the environment was different. The team was different. You can't do it by yourself. You can't do it by yourself. And I just find it interesting. I said this, I called it last year. If you got rid of your best player, you did what you had to do, or again, my mistake, your best player walked because she didn't like the discipline you were given on your team. And you ended up getting fired for it, Coquese Washington. You ended up And that is the risk right now with these college players because they don't want to act right. There's nobody that can rein them in. And if they want to leave, they can leave because they in their feelings and they ain't got no stick-to-itiveness. They don't know how to work through hard times. They don't know how to take criticism. None of that. Because now they can just bounce. And what makes it even worse, they can bounce and still get paid. So this is what you get. Keomi McMiller, maybe she'll be in the W, maybe she won't. She got the skills. She damn sure ain't winning nothing. Coquese Washington, you had a good 4-year run, or maybe you didn't. Now she's looking for a job. Now, if Keomi McMiller is still on the team at Rutgers, do they get over 10 wins? I don't know. I would like to think that they would have. I saw her play. I know what she's capable of, but then I'm looking at Penn State. She's averaging 21.6 points a game, playing 33 minutes a game, and they still losing. So Keomi, maybe it's a you problem. At some point in time, you got to figure out how to play with other people. But it is what it is. This is what happens now that you got the stars, can pretty much dictate what they want to do. And there is it's almost like they do it with impunity. There's nothing to check them. There's nothing to say, you're going to have to do what you're supposed to do, or I'm going to pull your scholarship, or I'm going to do this. I'm going to kick you off the team. Whatever the situation is, whatever they used to do when I was back in school, them days is gone. Them days is long gone. And what you have is a bunch of athletes. You got a bunch, you got a lot, not all, but you got a bunch of athletes who have no discipline, who do not know how to think creatively and think critically and get out of their own way. You got athletes that don't know how to take criticism. They don't know the difference between hating and constructive criticism or simply game observation. If it ain't you are all world, everybody's hating on you, and that's not the case. These kids cannot handle the truth, and this is what you get.